Life can only be understood backwards, but it must still be lived forwards. People demand freedom of speech as a compensation for the freedom of thought, which they seldom choose to use. Anxiety is the dizziness that comes with freedom. People understand me so poorly that they don't even understand my complaint about not understanding me. Life is not a problem that needs to be solved, but a reality that must be experienced. The most common form of despair is failing to be who you are. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, especially the one you will never have. What if everything in the world were simply a misunderstanding? What if laughter were actually tears? Knowledge is a wealth that cannot be stolen. Once you label me, you negate me. To dare to lose one's footing for a moment and not to dare is to lose oneself. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. Many of us pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that we rush right past it. It is so hard to believe because it is so difficult to obey. Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself. It is impossible to exist without passion. The self-assured believer is a greater sinner in the eyes of God than the troubled disbeliever. A leap of faith, yes, but only after reflection. Why bother remembering a past that cannot be turned into a present? On the secretly blushing cheek, there is reflected the glow of the heart. Happiness is the greatest hiding place for despair. It is very important in life to know when your cue comes. My sorrow is my castle. Take away the paradox from the thinker, and you have a professor. A no does not hide anything, but a yes can very easily become a deception. Once you are born into this world, you are old enough to die. Hope is a passion for the possible. Cultivate the will. This is the armor that preserves the mind. Therefore, do not deceive yourself. Of all deceivers, fear yourself the most. If you want to be loathsome to God, just run with the herd. My standpoint is armed neutrality. The only intelligent tactical response to life's horror is to laugh defiantly at it. To be lost in spiritlessness is the most terrible thing of all. What is youth? A dream. What is love? The dream's content. Don't forget to love yourself. Whoever has learned to be anxious in the right way has learned the ultimate. It is better to become lost in the passion than to lose the passion. I would rather be a swineherd understood by the swine than a poet misunderstood by men. Life has its own hidden forces, which you can only discover by living. Far from idleness being the root of all evil, it is rather the only true good. People settle for a level of despair they are able to tolerate and then call it happiness. Sleeping is the height of genius. For it is not what happens to me that makes me great, but what I choose to do. Faith is the highest passion in a man. You become what you understand. Life has become a bitter drink to me, and yet it must be taken in drops, counted one by one. Be that self that one is. Faith begins precisely where thinking leaves off. I opened my eyes and saw the real world, and I began to laugh, and I haven't stopped since. What distinguishes all love from lust is the fact that it carries an impression of eternity. The best response to criticism is to smile and forget. The highest, after all, is not to comprehend the highest, but to do it. If you don't have many friends, that means you have a lot of life experience. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. To be human is not a fact, but a task. And this is winning mind with aditya. Remember, life is not something you simply understand. It is something you must choose to live.